Hey everyone, thanks for clicking on this video. 2026 is upon us. 2025 is no more. It is a figment of your imagination. And I am ringing in the new year with a cold. It is ravaging the whole house, but we're getting through it. I wanted to do this video. I wanted to talk about new music that's coming up in 2026 and shows that I will be attending for sure. And I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. What are some records that you're looking forward to? What did I miss out on and leave out on this list? And what shows are you looking forward to attending this year? Sound off in the comments below. Thanks for subscribing. Let's get into it. So as far as shows goes, the wife and I have a few shows lined up for next year. 3 that we already have tickets for, and I'm sure there might be a few sprinkled in there throughout the year. Additional ones, I should say. But the first big one that we will be going to, we will be seeing Helloween again in May in Vegas again. We saw them a few years ago in Vegas. So going back there, seeing them up on the Giants and Monsters tour. Absolutely love that record. It was my #1 favorite album of 2025. So you can check out my top 10 list if you haven't already. So I am super stoked to see Helloween again. They put on an amazing live show. Last time we saw them just was quite frankly, one of the best shows I've ever seen. So I am super stoked to see them again in May in Vegas. Then another massive show that I am super stoked to be going to see Iron Maiden. That's in September, going to the San Antonio show. This would be like the, 8th or 9th time I've seen Maiden. I try to catch them every time. They've been to the States here since 2008 is when I first saw them. So yeah, I'm absolutely stoked to see that show. They still put on an amazing live show. Curious to hear the new drummer. I've been watching live videos, of course, but just going to be a different dynamic without Nico behind the kit. And what a great bill, too. Megadeth and Anthrax. It should be Maiden's biggest North American show in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. So that should be a blast. And all 3 of those bands still put on great shows. It'll probably be the last time I ever see Megadeth, who I've seen a handful of times. And yeah, super stoked to see Anthrax again, who I haven't seen in probably, 10 years or so. So that's going to be a great bill. Should be a lot of fun. And that's in September in San Antonio. So September, I think it's late September, so maybe not too hot, maybe get a little respite from the Phoenix weather. Maybe. We'll see. And then last but certainly not least, Rush in December here in Phoenix. I got tickets for 1 date. I don't know if I'm going to go to the second date, Phoenix date yet. We shall see. But I'm excited about this show. I know a lot of people have had mixed feelings about the ticket prices and them even doing something as Rush again and all of this. Rush is my all-time favorite band. I got to see Rush twice live in person, and they were the very first show that I ever went to. So I am super excited to get a chance to see and hear some of these songs again. And I'm curious to see what they do with the new drummer. She's got a lot on her plate. She looks like a very accomplished drummer. Watching some of her videos, she's obviously very talented and skilled, but she has a lot on her plate, and those are big shoes to fill, to say the least. Neil's shoes. And Geddy and Al are only getting older. Geddy's voice was always hit or miss towards the end of the run. And Alex's arthritis, I doubt any of that's gotten better. Usually it doesn't get better with age. But I'm still curious. I'm curious to see what they do. I mean, Geddy said they're already going to be bringing in people to lessen the load on him. So I don't know if that means a keyboard player, if that means backing vocals. Who knows? I'm sure Geddy will still play, certain key parts of songs on the keyboard or what have you, but I don't think he's gonna be handling everything like he did back in the day. But I'm curious to see how that sounds, man. And as long as it's a good show, that's all I care about. You can talk about ticket prices, and you can talk about how the way they rolled out the dates, which I thought was really bad. Yeah, you can't tell me that they didn't know there wasn't going to be demand for these shows, and you can't tell me that They just didn't have all these dates booked in advance. Oh, well, now we're going to add more dates. That's not how booking venues works, and insurance and routing and all that stuff. It's not just like, oh, well, we saw there's a lot of demand, so we're magically going to fill in these dates that we conveniently had empty. So I don't like the way they handle it. I didn't like the ticket prices, and you're fooling yourself if you think a band as big as Rush doesn't have control over ticket prices. They do. I've paid about the same price for Iron Maiden as I've had for the last 10 plus years. Because Maiden makes it a point to keep those tickets relatively affordable for their fans. So a band like that could tell Ticketmaster or whoever, hey, these are where we're pricing our tickets at. They didn't do that. It is what it is. I was happy I got tickets. I'm happy they announced the Phoenix dates. I'm glad I didn't buy tickets for any of the other dates because I was thinking about getting a ticket for LA or one of the Texas shows, but I didn't. So I'm glad that they announced the Phoenix date. So yeah, that's Rush. Excited to go see them in December. Will be an interesting experience to say the least. So those are my shows that I'm definitely going to. Again, I will probably add a few more in sprinkled throughout the year as tours get announced and whatnot. So let's get into albums. A lot of good albums scheduled for release this year. A lot of rumored albums. So it could be a banger year if all this comes to fruition. And the first one we want to talk about, one of my most anticipated, Megadeth, following up this record, The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. They're following it up with their self-titled album, Megadeth. And that will come out on January 23rd, so only a few weeks away. This is supposedly the last album. We'll see if Dave lives up to that. To be honest with you, I don't know if he will or not. The time will tell. The advanced songs have not really done anything for me. I'm excited for it. I get excited for Megadeth albums. They're a band I grew up on. But we'll see. We'll see how good it really is. I have faith in Dave. I don't like the Ride the Lightning cover. I think it's stupid. I think it's utterly dumb for Dave to make the last Megadeth album about Metallica. And basically the last Megadeth song that you will ever hear is a Metallica song. And I understand Dave has riffs and wrote some of Ride the Lightning. I get that. I totally get that. But it is a Metallica song. Nobody's ever going to think about Megadeth when they hear Ride the Lightning. That's just the truth. Unfortunately, it's the truth. And Dave, of course, has to make it about Metallica. But I'm excited for the record. Like I said, the advanced singles didn't really do anything for me, but we'll see come January 23rd. Next up, we have Creator coming back out with Crushers of the World. That's actually going to be before Megadeth on January 16th. And I'm excited about that. Creator's kind of like Motorhead, especially later in their career. Like, you know what you're going to get. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. They're probably never going to do an album where they're going to, holy shit, this is so much different. Now I'm a fan. So we shall see with Creator. They actually put on a stellar live show. I saw them open up. Was it Merciful Fate? I'm pretty sure I saw them open up for a number of years ago. That was a really good show. I'm pretty sure Creator opened up for them. They still put on a heck of a live show. So I'm looking forward to that album. Just like every Creator album, just like every Sodom album, Megadeth album. They could be very similar, but they're big names, legacy acts. I like to check them out just because they have that gravitas. Alrighty. Next up, probably my second most anticipated behind the Megadeth album, at least for the early part of the year, is Mayhem coming out with Liturgy of Death on February 6th. They're following up this album, Daemon. This was a really good record. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I haven't spun it in a while. I should probably do that again. But I'm excited to see what Mayhem does. The last, honestly, probably 3 or 4 records I've really enjoyed. And they have such an interesting, varied discography. Very, very interesting band that has kind of drifted from where they started from, but have kind of found a new sound and gonna get a good melding of new and old in there. So yeah, I'm super excited to hear the new Mayhem, and we'll see what it sounds like on February 6th. Now, moving on, these are just some albums that are rumored. We don't know if they're coming out. Savatage with Curtain Call. They might be finally following up this album from 2001, Poets and Madmen. I will be super stoked, and that will probably be my most anticipated album if it does happen, Savatage's Curtain Call. But I know John Oliva is battling health issues. So who knows if this is going to ever see the light of day. I'm certainly hopeful that it does. The rumor is that John wanted to release it on his late brother's Chris's birthday, and that's in April, if I believe. So maybe we'll get it towards the first half of the year. That would be awesome. I'm not holding my breath, though. We shall see. We shall see. I basically love the entire Sabotage catalog, and I love especially the latter era stuff. So I'm super excited, man, and that will be a hyped up record. And nearly, it will be 25 years since this album released. That's crazy. So we shall see. Next up, we've got Queensryche, rumored to come out with a new album and follow up this absolutely stellar album. This was my album of the year for 2002, Digital Noise Alliance. If you haven't listened to any of the Queensryche stuff since Todd joined the band, I highly suggest that you do. Very good stuff. And I am super excited to hear where they go. If we do get a new record, it's about time for them. So yeah, Queensryche maybe dropping a new album. That would be cool. Another super hyped one that will have a lot of people listening to it because of the circumstances will be Power Trip following up Nightmare Logic. This was an absolutely stellar record from 2017? So a long time ago. And they have their shoes to fill, obviously, with Riley passing away a few years ago. That will be a very big hyped up release for sure. So if that happens this year, definitely looking forward to that one. Next up, one I think we'll probably get, because this one came out all the way back in 2021, if I remember right. That is Gojira following up Fortitude with a new record this year. And that will be one of the biggest releases of the year because Gojira is definitely one of the biggest bands in metal for sure. They've absolutely blown up in the last 3 or 4 years. So excited to hear that. That will be a massive release. Outside of that, Anthrax. Are we going to get the new Anthrax after 10 years since For All Kings? I've liked the 2 records they did after they reunited with Joey. So I am excited to hear that if it does happen. I'm not holding my breath, though. There's rumors of a new Down. That's been in the making forever. That will be a big deal. Exodus, Rob Dukes is back in the band, so we shall see. I really loved Tempo of the Damned. Isn't that the first Rob Dukes record? Correct me if I'm wrong down below. But I'm excited to hear any new Exodus. They're one of those legacy bands I'll always check out. Fear Factory. If this happens, it will be my number 1 most hyped record. I really like what Milo's done live with the band. So I'm curious to see what him and Dino can come up with in this new version of Fear Factory. Burton C. Bell is one of my absolute all-time favorite lyricists and vocalists in metal history. But it's just time to move on, man. And if Dino wants to keep Fear Factory going, that's cool with me. He's earned that right. And Milo seems like a really cool dude, and he appreciates Fear Factory and the history of the band. So I'm excited to see if they drop a new album coming up this year. Gorguts. Could we finally get a follow-up to Colored Sands, which was, 2013? That record was awesome. I need to spin that one again. But that could be cool. Getting some good death metal, Canadian death metal at that. King Diamond. Are we finally going to get the new King Diamond or the new Merciful Fate? I doubt it. I am not holding my breath. But I will be stoked if it happens. Maybe I'll wear this King Diamond shirt for 365 days and maybe it'll come to fruition. Who knows? Symphony X. That would be very cool, man. Symphony X, it's been a long time since they dropped a record. Absolutely love that band. Been listening to them since high school. So I am excited for that if it does happen. Rumors of a new Tool. Not holding my breath there. Don't really care, but not holding my breath. Trivium. That will be interesting. I've followed Trivium since 2003. Still enjoy the band. They put on a great live show. And the last 3 or 4 records I've really, really enjoyed. Honestly, they don't really have a bad record to me, so I'd be excited for that. New Obituary and New Pestilence, so it could be a good year for some old school death metal bands, some legacy death metal bands coming back and dropping new records. And then if this happens too, it might be my number 1 release. I know I said that about Sabotage, but this will be super cool. Type O dropping a live record. Johnny and Kenny, have both talked about they've got a live show together. It's mixed, it's mastered, and they're ready to put it out. They're basically just dealing with cover art and label stuff. So we'll see. This will be really the first official live Type O record. Origin of the Feces isn't really a live record. It's a spoof live record. The Vakken set flew out there. Some bonus stuff on the Dead Again set when it came out a number of years ago. And there's, like, you can see stuff on YouTube, like the Bizarre Festival set from, like 99 or something. So there's stuff that's out there, but nothing official from the band has really ever been put out there in a full live album package of one full show. So that would be super cool if that does happen. I will be all over that. So that's just a few records that I'm excited about. Some shows I'm excited about going to see. Pray for King Diamond. That's kind of an oxymoron, but pray for King Diamond to release a new record. And we shall see, man. What are you guys stoked for? What are you excited about? What shows are you attending? What records did I leave off this list? If it's anything like 2025, I'm sure there's going to be a massive amount of music, and I'm sure I'm going to miss most of it and have to go back and catch up. That's going to be the next video on the channel, most likely, is me going back through my 2025 releases and catching up on what I missed out on. So anyways, guys, if you liked this video, if you made it all the way to the end, hit the like button, subscribe, comment down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.